man. Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx from Whyte, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfellow from Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
Most exciting man in boxing. Man in boxing. Landon Flair Cobbs. Shout out to Goodfellow Sports TV.
Hey, Steven, man, you really believe that stuff? Oh, man, come on. You really believe that stuff you be saying?
All right, man, let's talk about Gary Russell coming back. I think it said January 22nd. AB said he might just switch over to Eddie Hearn. First, let's talk about Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury. Appears that Anthony Joshua will now step aside. He go ahead and fight Usyk. I still don't know who he's training with. Last time I heard he was leaning towards Eddie Reynoso, Team Canelo, but it is what it is. So that fight will be around March and April-ish. But it says Dillian Whyte's world title fight against Tyson Fury can be finalized after WBC orders talk for mandatory. WBC orders Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte to start negotiations for the mandatory WBC heavyweight title fight, which would mean Usyk presses ahead with his rematch against Anthony Joshua. So we know that Joshua gonna go into that rematch, so it don't matter. They should be fighting around the same time. I know Tyson Fury told Bob he wanted to fight 3 times next year, and this is his last fight with Top Rank, according to Fury. So Dillian Whyte's long-awaited world title fight against Tyson Fury could be secured as the WBC order negotiations for the mandatory fight. So here we go. Long story short, it says in October, WBC had publicly ordered Fury to face Whyte, WBC interim champion, if he could not agree. I think he won an undisputed world title fight within 30 days against Usyk. Whyte will now enforce a mandatory title fight against Tyson Fury to be scheduled for next year, despite an ongoing arbitration between the Brixton men and WBC. So apparently, it sounds like Dillian Whyte trying to sue them. WBC hereby orders the start of the free negotiation period pursuant to WBC rules and regulations for the mandatory bout between WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury and mandatory challenger WBC Interim World Champion Dillian Whyte. If I was them, I'd just go ahead and when this case over with, we'll order. You can do what you want to do now, Fury. Because you can't be suing me and pursuing my belt. You can, but excuse me. It is what it is. Let's get this over with. Dillian Whyte never did nothing to earn that title. He just finessed his way to that title. That's it. He finessed his way to the title, but not maneuvering around mandatories. That's what he did. Maneuver around Ortiz, maneuver around Dominic Brazil. You know what I'm saying? He just continued to maneuver around the mandatories, and they should have said, if you don't fight these guys, we order you to fight. You can't fight for the belt. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? So that'd have been my thing. But then again, Dillian Whyte finessed the system for a title fight, and hopefully this can be over with once and for all. People tired of Dillian Whyte. He got popped for peds a couple times, and then he got to fight Oscar Rivas without Oscar Rivas' knowledge. So like I said before, it's a lot of tomfoolery going on with Dillian Whyte, man. Hopefully this all can come to an end. I wish Wilder would have splattered his face all over the ring, but he held a grudge against Eddie Hearn over the Anthony Joshua saga and all that good stuff. But it is what it is. We finally get this done and over with. Deontay would have put his personal feelings aside. PBC would have put their personal feelings aside. With PBC, you see that with Leonard Ellaby and Eddie Hearn and Floyd Maddox, Canelo, all that's connected. They mad at Eddie Hearn for finessing them out of a heavyweight world title. Once Eddie Hearn got Anthony Joshua that title, he knew that relationship with Al Haymon was going to be over. Y'all forgot when Al Haymon was actually bringing boxing to free TV. Eddie Hearn, a couple of his fighters won world titles off of Al Heyman. Remember the Kamada Asian cat, real good fighter, and Eddie Hearn fighter. I think Jamie McDowell won a couple close decisions. I know he won a world title over him. Then on Showtime, Kell Brook took the title off of Sean Porter, and then obviously when Al Heyman could have fed Deontay Wilder, Charles Martin, he fed him to Eddie Hearn for the best deal. And Eddie Hearn took the belt and ran off and had no intentions on making Wilder and Joshua. So Eddie Hearn finessed him. It's different from the Bob Arum and Al Heyman dynamic. Bob Arum was just hating on Al Heyman. Two Harvard men hating on each. Well, Harvard men hating on another dude. Harvard's law hating on Harvard business and Al Heyman, because Al Heyman was getting higher purses from Andre Berto and his fighters than Top Rank can get out of HBO. So that's where that beef started from. Bob Arum was just hating. There was no relationship there. Al Heyman couldn't even establish a relationship with Bob Arum. He just started hating because Al Heyman was able to get higher purses out of HBO. But Al Heyman brought more money to the table with how he do ads and what type of money he bring in for the fight. Instead of Bob Arum, looking at it that way, he just started hating on Bob. But the difference is Bob was just hating. Eddie Hearn finessed him. So, Al Heyman probably was willing to work with Bob. Bob just got the hating off rip. So, before the relationship ever got started, that's where the hate was at. So for those who don't know, that's why you got a huge PBC contingent hating on Bob Arum. Anybody affiliated with Bob Arum, Terrence Crawford got caught in the crosshairs, but yeah, Bob Arum was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, extending the olive leaf branch, to Al Heyman, which it could have been worse. Because you see how Eddie Hearn took advantage of Al Heyman because they don't know exactly what they're doing. Eddie Hearn dad been in the game for a long time. So he know the little shit he could finesse. It could be worse because Bob and Al would have worked together. Probably would have been worse. Bob would have tried to finesse Al for sure. But, you got to say Al tried to finesse Oscar De La Hoya out of his company. So, if they can take advantage of you, they will. So, the Bob Arum by Al Heyman thing could have been a lot worse than what it is, especially if they would have worked together. Bob would have tried to pull a fast one. But, we here, and hopefully, we can move on and get an undisputed heavyweight champion. I think it might be the first four belt. They want to call it the ring belt 5. So obviously you see Tank relinquish his secondary WBA title at remain at lightweight. Okay, I didn't know that. But Gary Russell, okay, is set to face Mark Maxwell in HBO main event January 22nd. So I think Mark Maxwell just fought on an undercard. I can't remember which undercard it was. He fought Julio Cesar, knocked Cesar out. Cesar was a game competitor. It was on the Pacquiao Ugas card. Okay. So, 26 years old, Pacquiao fighter. Like I said, Gary Russell will end the longest layoff of his career January 22nd. So let me tell you what the layoff is. I believe he last time Charles Martin fought. They just had the press conference for Martin Ortiz. I seen on Fight Hype. So February 2020. Yep, February 8th, 2020. So he's been out for almost 2 years. Almost 2 years to the day. He come back January 22nd, 2022. So yeah, he's been out for 2 years. It says he would end the longest layoff of his career. Boxing has learned that Russell would make his mandated defense of his WBC featherweight title against Mark Maxwell that night on Showtime Championship Boxing main event. The site for the 12-round, 126-pound championship hadn't been determined as of Tuesday afternoon. So yeah, last time he fought was Nyambar. Nyambar already came back and fought Colbert. The 33-year-old Russell is boxing's longest-reigning champion, yet the talented southpaw has drawn considerable criticism over the past several years for fighting infrequently. 2008 U.S. Olympian has defended his WBC belt just 5 times since he stopped Mexico's Johnny Gonzalez in a 4th-round win in March 2015. So he only fought 5 times in the last 7 years, going on 7 years. Russell, Capitol Heights, Maryland, raised in Washington, D.C., hasn't boxed since he defeated Mongolia's King Nyambar by unanimous decision in their 12-round fight February 2020 at the PPL Center, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Nyambar, 12-2-9, who was undefeated when he challenged Russell, was the mandatory challenger for Russell's title. The COVID-19 pandemic was at least partially responsible for Russell's career-long hiatus, though the most prominent premier boxing champion fighter have competed since the pandemic began. So they saying pandemic ain't to blame. He could have, I mean, I don't know. When we making so much money, bro, he ain't gonna move for small money. So I think he's just looking for the big fights. The Philippines make Maxwell 23-0, 16. Russell will encounter a hard-hitting contender promoted by Manny Pacquiao company. Freddie Roach, Pacquiao's long trainer, also works with Maxwell, the WBC's number 2 contender in the 126-pound featherweight division. The 26-year-old Maxwell produced spectacular knockout ball with Julio Cesar. In the most recent fight, Maxwell survived the 5th-round knockdown and trailed on all 3 scorecards, 87-82, 86-83, 86-83, when he cracked Cesar with the right hand that knocked the former WBC interim 122-pound unconscious in the 10th round on the Pacquiao or Dennis Ugas undercard August 21st at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Though Maxwell was ranked 2nd among WBC featherweight contender, WBC ordered Russell's late in September to fight Maxwell next. So yeah, I think Maxwell fought I think Maxwell fought Cesar off a long Julio Cesar off a long layoff. I think Cesar was out the ring for a while too. Hold on. So Cesar, yeah, he was out for around a year and a half, between the Brandon Figueroa fight, which was a split draw, and the Mark Maxwell. He had a draw with Brandon Figueroa and couldn't get in the ring for a year and a half. So, I mean, give me 1 second, clear my throat. So, I mean, he finally coming back. I do remember them ordering the Maxwell fight just for so long. I mean, September to now. So, apparently he doesn't even have a site to fight at yet. So, there's no site. So, I mean, it is what it is. They figured out PBC. I mean, we talking about we roughly 2 months out and they don't have a site. No, that shit is just crazy, man. They be wanting people to travel to these fights, and then you get people 2 weeks notice, 2-month notice. I'm being nice, it ain't even 2 months. So I mean, it is what it is. It should be a good fight. Shout out to Gary Russell. I think he should be a little bit more active, but PBC don't have the fight dates. That's one thing you got to understand. PBC don't have the fight dates. So he don't have a fight day. So let me pull this up and see if I can find this. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, here you go, right here. He said, I think Adrien Broner said, I think it's time to holler at Eddie Hearn. Then he also went on to say, when it's all said and done, I'll be champion again, no matter if I fight on Showtime Sports or DAZN Boxing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, how much is Adrien Broner worth? That's the $1 million question. How much is Adrien Broner worth? He said he don't have a contract. All Al Hammond fighters say don't have a network deal tying them to a certain promoter or whatever. But Gary Russell was saying that he could work wherever you want to work. When it was time to bust a move to Top Rank, he couldn't bust a move. So I mean, even when David Benavidez left for Top Rank and Samson Boxing, was threatening legal action, Al Hammond is the one who returned $200 $250,000 back in cash to Bob Arum. It's a whole article on the Ring magazine. So, like I said, that all goes to Al Hammond. We all seen the contract going around from the Golden Boy lawsuit. Al Hammond has to sign off on everything they do boxing wise. So that's something to think about. They all threatened to leave, and nobody really left other than Jesse Vargas and Danny Jacobs. Them the only ones who left. Them the only ones who truly left, who spoke, so So bust a move. They always make these public threats and then don't shit shake. I mean, obviously we'll see. You know, what the zone got to offer him. Who? You know what I mean? Reaches Progress. You know, money, right? I guess he go over there and get pummeled by Reaches Progress. We'll see what happens. You know, but Reaches Progress signed to Port Bellum. I forgot. So he can't be affiliated with the zone. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Check the Box News playlist out. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. All my social media subscription. Twitter's the fastest way, then Facebook and Instagram. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Best way to donate. Thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to notifications go live drop video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Appreciate the love, support. But yeah, like I said before, man, let me know what you guys think about the Dillian Whyte Fury thing. Like, he's about to go down like Young Jock. Fury said he want to fight 3 times this year. Heard he's going to go down in Manchester. They want to make it in Manchester and Fury's hometown. Let me know what you think about Gary Russell's about to fight Pacquiao, fighter Maxayo, January 26th. No date, no venue yet. Think about Adrien Broner threatening to hop ship and go to the zone. So appreciate the love, support.